Good morning. Right, let's get this camera in the right place and then we begin. So we're going to start in Subdivision. So grab your blocks, cushions, and a blanket. And move back just a little bit so we've got more space. So taking a cushion for underneath your heads, a blanket to lie on to soften the floor, and then using 2 blocks to prop up the knees. Just like a little incense. Okay, let's begin. Just check everybody can see me. Yes, I think so. Everything's working okay. So using your blanket to soften the floor. Have your strap also ready to hand just to the side. You can grab that when we need it. As we do a little blaster and twist it with the legs. So lying down on your backs now, cushion underneath the head. Bringing the feet together, fairly close to the groin, but not too close. And then propping up the knees with your blocks so that the legs don't open too wide or take any strain onto the hip joints. So just using your props here to support the legs. And then taking your left hand to your heart and your right hand to rest onto your belly, onto the navel. Closing the eyes. Gently, gently drawing your attention inward. So first noticing any sounds in the room, outside the room. Just observing how the body feels. Observing without any judgment or criticism, just compassionately looking and seeing. And begin to allow the breath to draw you in to the present moment. Let it be your guide to feel fully present here and now. So noticing the expansiveness, the opening up of the body as you let the breath in, inviting the breath in. And then feeling the sense of the chest rising, and the ribcage widening, the belly rising. On your deep breath in. And then noticing how the body softens and relaxes on the exhale. So really feeling that flow in, the expansiveness. And then the releasing, the softening on the breath out. So inviting the breath in and then letting the breath go. Follow that path, that circular path, round and round. Allowing the body to relax here, so making sure the arms, the shoulders, the face, the chest, the legs, the feet, the hands, everything is just relaxing. Nothing to do just yet. Just enjoy this moment of stillness. Then allowing thoughts to just rest quietly in the back of the mind as you follow your breath intimately. Taking this opportunity of stillness to see what your intention is today. So look within deeply and see what your intention is. Your resolve, your positive intention. Create a picture of that intention with light and colour and detail, so you can really picture it and visualize it. And then repeat it silently 3 times to yourself in this moment in the present tense. I am. Clear and definite. Let's do a little box breath before we begin to move. So let's take a deep breath in for the count to 4. So inhaling, 2, 3, 4. Then hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. And now just let the breath resettle. And slowly open up your eyes. Take your hands to your blocks. Excuse my throat. A little frog there. And taking your cushion from underneath your head. Time to take your strap. So stay on your blanket, but making a little loop at the end of your strap. So if you don't have a strap, you can always use any belt, maybe a dressing gown belt, something like that. But these straps are readily available on Amazon and various yoga websites like yoga matters. They're all really good. So make a little loop at the end. Place that on your right foot. Take your right hand to hold the strap as high up as you can, comfortably keeping the arm straight. Keep your left leg engaged and straightened into the floor. So make your left leg active. And start to breathe into the space of the right leg. So using the breath to guide you deeper into your stretch. Working with a long exhale. As you exhale, imagine you're softening the muscles, soothing the muscles of your stretching areas. In this case, the hamstring. And the longer we hold the stretch, the brain to muscle signal. We don't move into it too fast, so work into it slowly. So the muscle spindles do not tighten and tense up. Just softly work into it. And gently the muscles will release. Working deeply into the exhale to just relax those muscles. Trying to resist and tighten, so release the resistance. Let's take it here for another 3 breaths, and with every exhale, see if you can just bring the foot a little bit closer towards you, down towards you. And then slowly bringing your left hand out to the side, palm facing up. As you offer your right leg out to the right. Look to your left hand. Now the foot doesn't have to touch down to the floor. Breathe deeply into the hip, the right hip. And try to keep the left leg grounded. So not trying to let it lift. Keep it grounded. So keep it active, pushing down into the floor. Steadying the breath, so work with the breath, keep it long and keep the exhale a little bit longer than the inhale. You can almost double the exhale to the inhale ratio, so in for 4 and out for 8. Let's take another 3 breaths here. One more. And bringing your leg back to center on a breath in. Switch hold of this hand on the strap. So now left hand onto the strap. Right hand reaches out to the side, palm facing up. And very slowly, slowly, slowly start to work the leg over to the left. And you can send your gaze over to your right hand. So engaging into the abdominal area. So you can mindfully work the foot down slowly, slowly with control to the floor. Maybe it will touch down, maybe it won't. If it doesn't, that's okay. Where you're at is where you're at. Keep the right arm and shoulder glued to the floor. So look to your right hand. So this is a lovely twist in the spine. Lovely opening up across the outer gluteals. Maybe feel a stretch down the outer thigh. Maybe even extending down to the calf, the outer calf. Keep the foot flexed. If you flex the foot a little bit more, it just intensifies the stretch a little bit. Let's hold it here for another 2 more breaths. Focusing on the longer exhale, releasing, letting go. On your next big breath in, release your strap. Bring your leg to center and switch over to the other side. So strap on the left foot now. Extend and lengthen the right leg actively into the floor.
Someone's at front door.
Ah, that's interesting. Somebody's at the front door. I can't go. So stretching into the left leg, pulling the left leg down towards you. Just check there's no messages on my phone. No. So keeping the right leg active, the left leg pulling that down towards you. Breathing deeply and steadily. With every exhale, bring it a little bit closer down. Three more deep breaths. And then when you're ready, after your third breath, breathe in and down, and then opening up the leg to the left as you turn your gaze to the right, with your arm stretched out to the right, palm facing up. Keep your right leg fully glued to the floor. So keep the right leg supporting and active. Three more deep breaths. Work with your breath. Releasing, softening, releasing deeper. One more breath in and out. Then inhaling, bringing your leg back to center. Switch the hands over. So now the right hand onto the strap. Left hand out to the side. Big breath in. Keep your right leg active. Slowly, slowly bringing the foot out to the side, leg out to the side. Look to your left outstretched hand. Engage into your abdominals so you can control the descent of the leg down. Keeping the arm stretched. That's holding the strap. Slowly, slowly. Keep that left arm booted. Keep it down the entire time. Oh, drop down the last little bit. So keeping the left arm glued, shoulder down, close to the floor. Keep your arm holding the strap straight. Flex the foot of the left foot, the left leg. Work with a deep exhale. This is very intense. 2 more breaths. Last breath in and out. Inhaling, release your strap. Bring your leg back to center. Strap off the feet. Now extending both legs to the sky. We're going to wrap your left leg over the right. It's almost like you're forming scissors with the legs. Folding the left foot under and behind the right calf. So bending the knees. So creating some eagle legs. Then drop the toes down. And take the opposite bind to the arm. So the left arm wraps underneath the right. Reach the arms up and hold it here. Really stretch the hands away, a little stretch to the shoulders. And then open the arms wide and drop the knees. Left knee out to the right as you look to your left hand. Keep the left arm and shoulder glued to the floor. Three more breaths. Last one. Inhaling gently, bringing the knees back to center. And then switch the bind of the legs. So this time from right over left. The right foot goes behind the left calf. And then we take the right arm underneath the left. Drop the feet down. Stretch the arms away. Little shoulder stretch to start. Reach the hands nice and high. Try not to overarch the lower spine, so keep an engagement of the lower back, the lumbar spine into the floor. So a little bit of an abdominal engagement there to keep the spine a little bit more neutral. Reach and reach, and then open the arms wide. Dropping the knees down slowly over to the left. With the right knee dropping down towards the floor. Send your gaze to your right hand. Keep the right arm glued to the floor. Because that arm and shoulder will want to lift off. Three more breaths. With every exhale, see if you can bring the right knee down a little closer to the floor. Don't have to touch, just send it towards the floor. One more deep breath in and out. And then inhale to bring the knees back to center. Hug the knees in tight to the chest. A little rock, side to side. And then let's roll ourselves over onto our knees. So you can keep your blankets here as we take a little puppy dog pose. So knees hip distance apart, so you're on top of your feet. Start to walk the hands forwards. Just take your blanket to the side so you can take your hand to your mat so your hands don't slip. Take a nice breath in and then slowly reaching the chest, the head down to the floor. Working into the shoulders, scoop the belly up, engage the abdomen. If you can look towards the hands, so lifting the head up to come onto the chin. If your forearms are onto the floor, but make sure you don't hurt your neck. Nothing should hurt. Two more breaths. Inhale to slowly press into the hands, scoop the belly up, engage into it. Lifting the chest, walk the knees up a little bit higher, the hands up closer to the feet. So now you're in a tabletop position. And take a little cat-cow. So setting your legs up, checking your hips are over your knees, and your hands are stacked beneath your shoulders. Spread the fingers wide and have the thumbs a little higher up than the little fingers. So you're sending the Inner creases of the elbows forwards, opening up the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together, take a big breath in as you lift the gaze, chest, heart and tailbone up to the sky. Exhale to tuck and squeeze everything under, so lifting, doming that space between the shoulder blades, chin to chest. Back to cat. Inhaling, going your way. Tailbone and head lift. Exhale, tail and head bone drop, head drops. Inhale into your cow. Exhale into cat. Really push into the floor with the hands. Extend the upper spine up towards the sky, the thoracic spine. Inhale to lift. One more exhale, really tuck the tailbone under and lift the belly up, scoop it up. Back into neutral. Taking a little pretzel arms. Taking a reach up with the right arm towards the sky. Exhale, thread the needle underneath. Reaching the right arm up, the left arm up to the sky and threading it behind the back to reach towards the right leg. Roll the left shoulder back. Pressing into the arm that's in the floor. Inhaling and exhaling deep. Planting the left hand back to the floor. Pressing to come back into neutral spine. Let's go the other way. Inhale, weight into the right hand, left hand reaches up. Exhale, thread the needle down through and under. So setting yourself up onto your left shoulder and the left side of the temple, left temple. Inhaling, reaching up with your right arm. And then bringing the hand behind the back, reaching towards the left thigh. Roll that right shoulder back, lift your gaze to the sky, scoop the belly up. 5 deep breaths here. Two more. Big breath in, planting the right hand to the floor, pressing back into your neutral or forward position. Take a little shoulder stretch now. So taking yourself a long ways with your orientation, long ways with your mat and your blanket. Lying down on your tummies. Lying down on your front. I'm going to first come up into a little mini cobra. So roll the shoulders back and down. And then you're going to reach your right arm underneath to the left, and the left arm reaches out to the right. So you're stretching the arms, wiggle your arms your hands as far apart as possible, and then wiggle into the hips and buttocks and the legs, checking that you're not tensing up there. And then taking your head to rest on the upper arm, so whichever arm you have in front. Our choices are to turn the palm of the hands up or down into the floor. Really check that you're not tensing into the glutes, into the buttocks. So check and release into those muscles. There's no need to tense up there. Just breathe into the space of the shoulders. With every exhale, letting go a little bit more. Can you hold a lot of tension? On your next breath in, slowly sliding the elbows towards each other. And then switch the arm that was in front to behind. And so you have the opposite bind of the arm. So the other arm is now in front. Really stretch the arms as far away from each other as they can go. Then check in on the lower limbs and into the buttocks. Check you're not tensing up there. Just relax. Resting the chin onto the upper arm. No tension in the face, in the jaw, in the neck. Focus on deep release. Exhale. Letting go fully and completely. Three more. On your next breath in. Slowly sliding the arms, elbows together. Reaching your left hand out to the side. Roll the left shoulder forwards. So it's like you're trying to press the front of the shoulder into the floor. Taking your right hand, so you press the hand into the floor, elbow lifted. Start to roll over onto your left side and bring your left knee up and left leg into recovery position. Rest the left side of the head onto your blanket and then lift the right leg up so the knee is lifted and your foot is placed into the floor, and push the knee away from the other leg. So the right leg is pushing away from the other leg. Take little spider fingers or into the floor with the right hand. Roll the right shoulder back and down. So pressing the palm of the hand of the left hand into the floor, into your blanket, pushing that right knee away. You may even be able to get onto the outer blade of the right foot. 3 more deep breaths. One more. In and out. Exhaling slowly, releasing the knees back together. Bring yourself back down to your front. Reach the right arm down and roll the right shoulder down to the floor. So rolling the right shoulder forwards, pressing the palm of your hand into the floor. Use your left hand in front of you, front of your chest to roll over onto your right side, right leg into recovery, left foot plants into the floor, knee lifts away from the other leg. Roll the left shoulder back and down. So you're trying to separate the knees as far away from each other as possible. So working into hip and working into the right shoulder. Relax the face, so really rest the head. Lose that knee weight just a fraction more. 3 more breaths. Steady and long. Last one. Inhale to release the knees back together. Rolling back down onto your front. Taking yourself back to a little mini cobra. Let's take ourselves up to Gomokasana. So taking a block if you need to, or a cushion to sit on. Or if you don't need either of those, if your hips feel okay, then you can sit directly onto the floor. Taking the right leg on top of the left, lay your body back down. So that's where if you're on a block or a cushion, you just need that little extra prop for the hips if your hips are feeling very, very tight. Reaching the right arm up. Use a strap if you can. Join the hands together. The left hand reaches up behind, joining the hands together. So take a deep breath in. Lengthen the spine. Take that arm, the upper arm away from the head so you're not pushing yourself to the side. So strength. Straighten up. You can pull and strengthen into that shoulder, the right shoulder, so you can pull it back a little bit away from the head. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold forwards over your legs. Feel the hinge occurring from the hips. And then resting the head down if you can reach onto the knees. Now if you really feel you can't find that landing, then take your cushion to soften and have that landing place. 5 deep breaths. Keeping the right elbow away from the head. One more deep breath in and out. Inhale to come up. Slowly letting go of the hands. Give your arms a little, shoulders and arms a little shake out. Over to the other side. So left leg goes on top this time. So stacking the knees one on top of the other. And then sitting down onto your block or cushion once more. Left arm reaches up. So wiggle the fingers down towards space between the shoulder blades, then reaching the right hand up. You might notice a difference between the left side, right side. And then taking the elbow away from the head, so it's not pushing into the side of the head and sending your spine off center. So lengthen into the spine, nice and long and tall with the spine, inhaling. Exhaling, hinging forward, folding over your front leg, the top leg. Using your cushion there if you need to. Three more breaths. One. Inhale to come up. Slowly, slowly. Shaking the shoulders out. Releasing the legs. Give the legs a little shake out. Now we're going to go over to the wall and take a little quad stretch. So take something to kneel on if you're on a hard surface. Or take your blanket so you can prop up underneath the supporting knee. If you need something, use a fold up towel or a little sweat towel or something like that if you need something to place underneath the foot. So first we're going to take ourselves with the right leg up against the wall. So the knee is close to the skirting board. And the right foot faced up against the wall. This is where you put something just to soften the land for the foot against the wall. Take your left leg into a pigeon position. So it's in pigeon. And reaching down with the elbows, making the head pillow. Use a real pillow with the hands. working deeply into that left hip. And a little stretch to start with onto the right thumb, into the neck quads. If you want to, you can bring your left foot a little higher up. So bring it a little higher up if you need. Just it makes it a little bit tense. Left hip, outer gluteals. 2 breaths. Inhaling to come up, push into the hands. And step your left foot forward. So now we're in a kind of like a lunge position. So dropping the hips down towards the mat. You bring your hands onto the inside of the left foot. Hold it here. So we're driving that right hip down towards the floor. Breathe deeply. Inhaling, slide your left foot in just a little bit. Take your left hand onto your left knee. And slowly bring yourself up. Torso upright. So now we're going to push ourselves up so that our buttock is now pushing towards the heel. Only go as far as is comfortable. If it starts to hurt the knee or pull too hard on here, work into it slowly. So slowly breathe into the stretch. If you need to take your knee a little bit away from the wall, then you can take the knee a little bit away. Bringing the shoulders back. You can reach towards the leg. Take the head back to the wall, the shoulders back towards the wall. Hold it here for 5 breaths. Slowly, slowly releasing. Let's go over to the other side. So setting up into the other side. Taking your padding for the supporting knee. Oh, excuse me. I've sneezed for a very long time. Taking your padding for underneath the top of the foot, pressing against the wall, and setting your right leg up into pigeon. So folding the foot across. Take the foot up as high as is comfortable. And then bringing the elbows down, make that pillow for your head, your hand pillow. Or use a real pillow, but make your little pillow with the hands and just see if you can settle there for at least 5 breaths. So pushing the shin into the wall, the foot into the wall behind you. So usually we'd have that left leg extended in pigeon, but this is just a variation, so we're getting a stretch on the left quad as well as a stretch on the outer gluteals of the right hip. If you want to, bring that foot a little higher up just for a few breaths, just to make it a little bit stronger. It's possible to even bring the shin up to nearly 90 degrees. But just move into the position slowly. Be mindful and listen to the feedback that your body gives you. Listen to the warning signs if there's any discomfort or pain. There shouldn't be there, so that's a sign. Back off and ease off the stretch and don't take it quite so far. So being kind and compassionate towards yourself. And knowing we're all very, very different. Some stretches are easier for some people, some are harder. We all have different setups. Taking it now into that more of a lunge position, so right foot onto the floor. Taking the hands onto the inside of the right foot, and then sending your hips down, so stretching particularly into that left hip flexor. Breathe deeply there. I can really feel this stretch. It's really, really good. Let's hold it here for another 2 or 3 breaths. Then slowly taking yourself towards the wall with the body upright. So pushing into your right leg, you take your hands onto the right thigh to push the chest back slowly, slowly, move slowly. If this is hard or difficult, then just go to where you feel comfortable. Don't make it uncomfortable. Take hold of the leg against the wall. Taking the shoulders back, the head back to wall for 5 breaths. If it doesn't arrive there, don't worry. Just go to where you can. One more deep breath in and out. And then slowly away goes the support of the foot, the padding of the foot. And let's take our blankets away too. Taking the thighs to the wall, tucking the toes underneath. Take the hands into the lower back behind the hips. Open up into the chest, so squeeze the shoulder blades together, driving the hips into the wall and the thighs into the wall. Going into a little Virasana Camel. Inhaling to come up. And then if it's possible for you, take your hands down onto the heels and then push the hips, pelvis forwards again, thighs pressing into the wall. Open up into the front body. Deep breaths. 2 more. Inhaling to come up. Little counter pose, rabbit. Keeping the toes tucked. Taking hold of the underside of the heels with fingers. Wrapping the hands, cupping the hands around the bottom of the heels. Take the crown of the head as close to the knees as possible. So the head is close to the knees, and then push into the hands, lifting the hips up. Your navel to spine, so scoop the belly up. Your chin will naturally come in towards your chest. You feel a pull across the shoulders. Three more breaths. Last one. Release the feet. And coming into child's pose, Virasana. Roll the shoulders forwards. Close the eyes. Catch the breath. And let it settle. So feeling your body recover from that slightly uncomfortable position being in rabbit. Can't stay there very long. Okay, next up, a little Virasana and Subdivision. So taking a cushion or two to land onto behind you and a cushion to sit on. First coming into your Virasana. If you don't have a bolster, then roll up your blanket so it's like a long tube. Taking yourself down to sit on a block or your cushion. Your feet outside of the hips, so you should be able to see your heels. Have your soft landing ready behind you. Slowly, slowly bringing yourself down onto your elbows. Now this might be as far as you go, and that's okay. If you need to, then take an extra cushion or two. So make your landing a little bit higher. If you can even take the cushion out from underneath your buttocks and work yourself down onto your elbows. And then sliding the elbows apart, landing the back onto the cushion behind you. Reaching the arms overhead, clasping opposite elbows. 10 breaths. Breathe deeply into the legs. Close the eyes. Keep the focus and attention inwards. Breathe into the space of the hips. 5 more breaths. Really let go here. Two more. Exhaling long, exhaling, releasing. And then taking your elbows near your feet. Take hold of the calves, lift the chest up a little bit, then wiggle the hands onto the heels. So now you're pressing into the elbows. Bring the legs a little closer together. And then take one hand to where the elbow was. Push into that. Then you can use the hands to bring yourself upright. Extending the legs in front of you. Give them a little shake out. And then coming to lie back down on the floor. Have a block ready. Take a little bridge, supportive bridge using a block. So rolling down, slowly, slowly onto your backs. Bring your feet in close to your bottom. Feet hip distance apart. You can have your fingertips to touch the back of the heels. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Open up across the chest, the sternum. So your elbows are nice and close to the body. Start to peel the spine off your mat. Wiggle the elbows even closer together. Drive the hips up. Feel the rise and fall of the belly. Deep belly breaths. Feel the belly rise and fall like a balloon, filling up with air. 3 more breaths. Lift the hips a little higher, squeeze into the glutes. And then peel the spine back down. Second bridge, take hold of the front of the feet if you can with the hands. See if you can bring the feet a little bit closer to you and lift the hips up even higher, wiggling the shoulders together. So getting a little bit more lift as you hold onto the fronts of the ankles. If this isn't possible, then clasp the hands underneath you, pressing the little fingers into the floor. Keep the legs parallel, so don't let the knees splay out to the side. 3 more breaths. Lift the hips a little higher. And then exhale, slowly peel the spine back down. Doing one more with a block. Or if you have a wheel, you can place a wheel under your back and do a little wet noodle effect over your wheel. So taking your block, so replace your feet, reset your feet, lift the hips up, and then taking your block so it's on its long end, place the short side into that space that's pretty much by your coccyx, just above your coccyx. So there's that bony surface there, back of your sacrum. Roll the shoulders towards each other, squeeze the elbows towards each other, open up into the chest. Relax the muscles of the face. Deep breaths here. Three more breaths. Balloon breath into the belly. Feel it fill as it rises.